to Shining, Shimmering, Splendid, where I review Walt Disney World rides and attractions. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the parade that everyone seems to forget the time of, even though it's known as the 3 o'clock parade, the Festival of Fantasy Parade. This attraction opened on March 9th, 2014 in the Magic Kingdom, replacing the Celebrate a Dream Come True parade. It features 7 different floats of various themes, such as Tangled, Brave, Peter Pan, Little Mermaid, Circus Mickey and Friends, and then there's also walking characters such as Snow White, Alice in Wonderland, and Prince Philip. The parade starts at the corner of Frontierland and Adventureland, right by Splash Mountain, and continues down past Liberty Square, around the castle, and down Main Street. So it's basically the opposite route of the Main Street Electrical Parade. The theme of the parade is a festival. It's basically one big celebration, and it shows. It's really hard to be upset while watching this parade. It's just too darn happy. One of my favorite things about this parade in particular is that it has this overall musical theme to it, the Festival of Fantasy theme, but with each different float, you also get an interwoven kind of medley of Disney songs that go with that float. In that vein, each float is unique and memorable to that particular character. Peter Pan is flying on a giant ship in the sky over Skull Island. Cinderella is on the other side of her giant pink dress that the mice made for her. And Merida is riding on a giant bagpipe. And then there's the costumes. Every single costume in this parade is meticulously done and beautifully created. And I'm not just talking about the princesses and the main characters. The Lost Boys in the Peter Pan section are so artfully done. The fairies in the Sleeping Beauty section are riding along on these secret segways underneath their skirts. And then all of the various dancers who don't necessarily have a character but add to the theme of the parade. Every single costume is gorgeous. The fish in the Little Mermaid section, the dancers in the Brave section, everything is just gorgeous. Seriously beautiful. I would say this parade, more than any of the others that I've seen, really is a visual spectacle. Okay, now the cons of this parade is that in the very first float, you have Belle and the Beast, you have Tiana and Naveen, you have Cinderella and her prince, and you have Anna and Elsa. And that's a lot to jam into one float. So what they do is they have them kind of rotating around so that on one side you have Tiana and Naveen, and on the other side you have Anna and Elsa. And depending on where you're sitting and the speed of the rotation, you might wind up missing some of your favorite characters because they're on the other side at the time that they pass by you. If your kid really loves Elsa and it just happens to be rotating at that time, they might not see her at all. And I find that very surprising, especially for Anna and Elsa, because they're such important characters. You really think they would have gotten their own float. And then in the Sleeping Beauty section, you have the fairies, you have Prince Philip, you have this giant steampunk dragon that breathes fire, and there's no Princess Aurora. She just doesn't appear, and it just seems a little out of place. And finally, you have all of these Disney Renaissance characters represented, but still no Aladdin and Jasmine. I wonder where they are, especially since I can imagine that the flying carpet would probably make a really cool float, so I'm not really sure why they weren't included in this parade. But those are really my only real criticisms, and at this point I'm just nitpicking. This is a great parade. I like it leaps and bounds better than the Main Street Electrical Parade, and if you're a big fan of parades, I highly recommend you check it out. If you're not too big on parades, this is a great time to go on a ride because everyone will be watching the parade. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that even though it's the 3 o'clock parade, 3 o'clock is really for Adventure Frontierland. If you want to watch this parade on Main Street, you're really looking at more like 3:20 or so. It does take this parade a while to get there. So if you want to get good seats and you're like, we got to get there at 2:30 so that we can see the 3 o'clock parade, be ready to wait a while. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and give the Festival of Fantasy Parade a solid 10 out of 10 would recommend. This parade is awesome. I haven't been this excited about a parade since Spectral Magic or even the Tapestry of Dreams parade in Epcot over a decade ago. Again, not everybody likes parades. And if you don't like parades, don't bother with it. But you know what? Do bother with it. Maybe this one's going to change your mind. If you've seen the parade, which float is your personal favorite? Mine is Merida's float because it's a giant bagpipe. If you like my reviews, feel free to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And check back every Thursday for another Magic and Moxie video.